Hey folks, welcome to my channel Number Pen. We have the problem on our screen. Limit x tending to infinity, x into 3 to the power 1 by x plus 1 minus cos of 1 by x minus e to the power 1 by x, right? So we know on this particular problem, right, we see the usage of 1 by x, right? There are three terms on this particular expression where we see we have a 1 by x, right? We have 3 to the power 1 by x, we have e to the power 1 by x, and we have cos to the power 1 by x. So in these problems, a good approach would be to substitute 1 by x equals y, right? And if your x tends to infinity, then your 1 by x will tend to 0, right? In your y will tend to 0. So let's rewrite this expression in that format. We're going to do a complete substitution and let's see how we can solve this problem, right? So I have 3 to the power 1 by x, which becomes 3 to the power y plus 1 minus cos of 1 by x becomes cos of y, and minus e to the power 1 by x becomes e to the power y, right? And I have my x, which now becomes 1 by y, right? So I'll do a whole of these expression, and I have my y here, right? So we have this expression now as 3 to the power y plus 1 minus cos of y minus e to the power y divided by y. In my previous videos, we did solve a few problems under trigonometric limits, right? Now, this seems to be a problem which is a combination of exponential limits and trigonometric limits, right? So, if I rewrite this as 3 to the power y, let me do it this way. I write this as 3 to the power y minus of e to the power y divided by y. I'm going to bracket this, and then I rewrite my 1 minus cos y separately, right? What do I get? 1 minus cos y divided by y. So we know that 1 minus cos y divided by y, as y tends to 0, will be 0, right? And I would request you to take a look at some of the problems we have solved under trigonometric limits, and you feel free to write to me if you have any concerns in terms of understanding those problems. So there, 1 minus cos y divided by y and problems which use this particular formula have been solved, right? So we will not go into solving the second part of the problem, which is 1 minus cos y divided by y. The limit tends to 0. But for the first part of the problem, which is 3 to the power y minus e to the power y divided by y, right? So let's rewrite that. And I'm going to kind of do something similar what we did in one of the earlier problems, right? So what do? Uh, we do it as minus 1 plus 1 and minus e to the power y, right? So let's pick up uh, the green part of the problem. The yellow part of the problem, we're not going to go about solving it. For now, we know that the answer to the yellow part of it is 0. So when I rewrite this, right, I can rewrite this as 3 to the power y minus 1 divided by y, right? We are good with this. And then I do a minus. And when I remove the minus sign and make it common for the remaining part of the expression, I get e to the power y minus 1 in my numerator, right? So minus 1 divided by y, right? So now we know which is the formula we will have to apply, right? So we have 3 to the power y minus 1 divided by y is nothing but your a to the power x minus 1 divided by x as x tends to 0. And what does it tend to? It tends to log 3, right? And then I have my e to the power minus 1 divided by y, which is my log of e, right? So, and then let's go to the yellow part of the problem. And without going into much of detail, I'm going to write this expression as 0. Okay, so the limit for this is 0, and the limit for the above expression is log 3 minus log of e, right? And yeah, and now when I combine, I'm sorry, I'm going to copy this and write it here. And when I write this, I'm going to write this as log 3 minus log e plus 0, which is, you don't have to consider that. So we're left with log 3 minus log e in our uh, as the final answer. And we know that all these logs are to the base e, right? So what is my log e? My log e is nothing but 1. So my answer to this problem is log 3 minus 1. So I hope you found this content useful. Please do subscribe to my channel and support. Thank you.